Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Ibishu SP-95. We only have one option here, and this option actually reveals that the vehicle is based on the Bolide 390 GTR. How do I know? Because it says 390 GTR in the description still. So let's go ahead and spawn this thing up and do some driving with it. Before we do any driving though, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the exterior of this thing. Now, when you look at this vehicle, you can tell it was clearly inspired by the Honda NSX or the Acura NSX, depending on where you live. If you lived in the USA, it was called the Acura NSX. But if you're like me, you still think of it as the Honda NSX for some reason. But even though it has many similarities to it, you can tell this is not an NSX model ripped from another game. This is a custom-made vehicle that was simply inspired by a real-life vehicle. Now, for the driving, first thing you'll notice right off the bat is there are currently no engine sounds. This is an early alpha version of the vehicle. I'm sure eventually there will be engine sounds that work. And it's not like this is maybe a electric version of the vehicle or something, and that's why there's no engine sounds, because if we take a peek in the inside of the vehicle, you can clearly see that it has an engine back here. It's kind of hard to tell, but that is a turbocharged V6 engine. And if you listen closely, you can actually hear the sound of the turbocharger over the sound of the tires skidding all over the place. And for some reason to me, when I hear that, it just makes me think of an electric car. Anyways, full speed ahead for a crash up the hill. There's some air. That's serious air. Oh, goodness. This thing's going to get wrecked. Front goes down first. And then we do a bit of a tumble. I'll speed it up just a little bit here. We're going to hit that post. Nope, we went right over it into the trees then. Oh, we stuck the landing. And we are now perfectly embedded into the trees. That looks kind of funny the way it's just sitting there on the trees like that. Anyways, here's the first look at the vehicle with some damage on it, although it's not the greatest place to look at it because all the trees in the way. So let's go and bring it back to the road. And I think we actually want to go in the other direction here. We got a little bit spun around from the crash, so we'll just do a little 180 maneuver right here. And while we're doing that, you can notice this thing does have brake lights and reverse lights, so they're just kind of unusual looking because it's that whole rear section lights up, but it's not the normal colors you would expect to see for brake lights. The good news is, though, is the headlights work excellently. They're pop-up lights, they pop up, and they have high beams, and then they can pop back down. So it's like the older NSX, which had the pop-up lights, and then a few years later, they actually removed the pop-up lights from that vehicle, which is kind of sad because to me, vehicles always look cool with pop-up lights. So we're going to be going about 140 miles per hour, and we're going to fly over some mountains then. Well, we're doing pretty good. That's a nice fly. It's going to be harsh on the vehicle, though. Oh, that's not good. All right, I got a tire burst. We're tumbling, and we're not going to come to a stop in time before we crash into something, are we? Nope. All right, how you doing? Do you drive still? No, it's not going to drive too well, considering that wheel is no longer attached. We got one wheel steering and too much power to do anything with it. We're just going to do donuts all day. We get a good look at the damage right here. A little bit better than the last one where we had all the bushes in the way. And what I'll do is I'll actually just bring it back to where we were before and keep on driving from that spot. But this time, we'll stay on the road. It's a good plan. Instead of driving off the road, we'll stay on the road. Also, I don't know why it always looks like there's like a blinker on or something. You notice that? It's kind of funny right there. You can turn on the blinkers. You see, they do function. But it's just like, it looks like there's one on at all times, it seems like at times. Like right there, you can see left blinkers working, no problem. And while we're just taking a look at the small details, why don't we pop in the inside right here? So this thing has a fully modeled interior, and it looks really good. But you might be thinking, I've seen this before, haven't I? This is actually the interior from the 200BX that's just been modified a bit to fit into this car, and it fits it really well as far as I'm concerned. Like, this interior looks good here. So I got no complaints about that. And it even has the gauges working here. So you got the tachometer doing its thing and the speedometer doing its thing. It's all working nicely. Now back to the outside camera. Yeah, let's try to drive like this. Oh goodness, we're going to crash very, very fast driving like this. But we're going to try it out for a little bit. Zooming by. Don't know where I'm going. Oh goodness, there's a corner there. Oh, we're going in the dirt. Yep. Oh, there's a tree. That tree literally came out of nowhere, it felt like. Like it was just, oh, we're hitting a tree now. Wow. Let's go ahead and take the car off of the tree so we can see the damage a little bit better. Ooh, that thing really got smashed by that tree. We were going like, I think 80 miles per hour when we made impact. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying not to crash, which unfortunately failed. And the steering wheel would have been inside of the driver in that kind of crash. That was a hard crash. Also, it's right-hand drive. So it's not exactly the 200BX interior now that I think about it. Because the 200BX, I'm pretty sure, is left-hand drive. So this is only a right-hand drive car. And I wish the stock vehicles had the option for left-hand drive and right-hand drive where it made sense. That would be really cool. You know, just having the option for left-hand drive versus right-hand drive. I'm pretty sure I've seen a mod that does that. I gotta see if it's still up to date because that's just a nice thing to have. Because, you know, if you're a European or whatever where they use the right-hand drive, which is only some European countries, but whatever. You know what I mean? If you live in a country that uses right-hand drive, it's nice to have right-hand drive. But if you're me, you live in a left-hand drive country, I'm almost never going to use the interior camera because right-hand drive just feels weird. Feels really weird. We're just kind of stealthing along through here. Let's go ahead and have another crash. Let's get it up to speed. We got a nice ramp up there. We're going to fly, man. This is good. This is good. Fly, baby, fly! We completely overshot that ramp, and that was on purpose. Because if we overshoot it, we get a bigger crash. Or a crash that's actually not going to be that bad to the vehicle, maybe? Like, yeah, it's tumbling all over the place. But did it damage a lot of the vehicle? Oh, we just lost the wheel. So yes, it did. Because I noticed also the right rear wheel is ruined. So I'll bring this thing back a bit because I want to drive up on that wall. We're going to need some speed for that. That might be enough speed. This thing is pretty fast, though. Because it's got all-wheel drive and a lot of power. Like, boom, we're already up to 80 miles per hour. It is much faster than a real NSX, I'm pretty sure. Unless you have a highly modified NSX, it's not going to be this fast. There we go. That was good. Nice landing right there. And then we're going to fly again for damage. Because, you know, there's obviously no way this is going to work out. Wait! Into the tunnel! No! We almost flew into the tunnel. Then we didn't. Then we crashed. Then we caught on fire. But it was really close to actually working out. Continue driving some more! See, Altitude's a nice map. I should use it more often. I'm thinking about that, by the way. In future videos, I'm going to try using non-stock maps more often. I just got to remember to call out the names so you guys know what map it is. You know, that way you guys aren't wondering, like, what map is this? And then the map makers are like, why didn't you say the map name? Everybody wants to download my map, and now they can't because they don't know what it's called. Now I got to leave a comment, and nobody believes me that I actually made the map, and it's a disaster. You know, got to avoid that. I did say the name was Altitude at the start, I'm pretty sure, so thankfully we're going to not have that issue this video. Alright, dirt road. This is not the ideal situation for a vehicle like this. Not even close. So, let's just go ahead and try to wreck it or spin it in circles because I apparently have little traction here. That's funny. Like, I was actually trying to wreck it there and all I did was a little 360, 360, 360 donut. Well, I guess if it's a 360, 360, 360, it's just a 1080, isn't it? Actually, you know what? Instead of crashing it, let's take a look at the parts menu because there are a few interchangeable parts here. I didn't find too many at the moment, but I know more are planned. Like I said, this is an early alpha version of the mod. So we have the option for quad exhaust and quad custom exhaust. I thought maybe the custom one would have the sounds, but no, it doesn't. And as far as I can tell, there's just basically no exhaust when you do that. But the actual interesting part that you can change is the roof. So we're going to go to the body, and then we got to find the one that's the roof. And we have two options for the roof. We have a gray roof, which looks more like a soft top. And then we also have a regular roof, which is more like a hard top. So you have a couple of nice little roof options there. Makes it look a little bit different when the roof is on versus off. So if you're in a rainy environment or whatever, you're going to want the roof on. Otherwise, just have it off. Why not? Weight reduction. And the weight is high up on the body, which means it's bad for the handling. So it's a real good weight reduction. This looks like a good place to just kind of pop off. Wow, that really did pop into the air right there. And we're going to land it in between some trees. Can it drive? Let's see. It wants to, I think. I think it wants to. No, it doesn't. It's not accelerating. There you go. Now it does. It wants to. Oh, man, but I can't steer good at all. Come on. Go, go, go. No, we can't steer. We got no steering whatsoever. And I think it's about time to change maps because this thing is real fast. And I think it would be a good vehicle to try out on a racetrack. So we're just going to go ahead and make our way over to... I'm trying to think, do I have any other racetracks installed besides the stock one? And I believe the answer is no. So for the next video, I need to install some racetracks. Anyways, we're going to head over to Hirochi Raceway. And if I had to compare this to the stock vehicles that come with the game, this thing's pretty high up there, I would think, in terms of speed. So we're going to get it in a nice red color for racing. Except it's not actually red. I know color changes work, I just don't think they work in the menu. So if we go over here, yeah, there we go. Now we got the racing red. So as I was saying, this thing is pretty fast. I would say it's probably close to as fast as any of the track versions of the stock cars and maybe in some situations even faster than them because it has some serious straight line speed. The handling is a little bit unusual feeling. Like, it's one of those things where I think I could get used to it and work with it. But the way it works is it's all-wheel drive car, and then it has the mid-engine setup. So we got a lot of weight to the rear, so you don't want to slide it too much because it can be kind of hard to recover a mid-engine vehicle when it gets sliding a lot. But then also, it's set up to be really understeery, so you really have to push it to get the slide anyways in the first place. So it's a car where you can pretty safely drive it as long as you're not too stupid where you like floor it in the middle of a corner or something like that. And I feel like it's one of those cars though, where if you really want to drive it fast, you gotta get used to this specific vehicle. I mean, look at that straight line speed. We were up to 100 plus on a straightaway that isn't even that long. That's a pretty short one, all things considered. This thing just has absolutely massive speed there that I feel like if you can utilize that speed correctly, you can have some monster lap times with this thing. I'm just not doing that right though because I can't seem to get used to exactly the way it corners. I think I got to be maybe a little bit less aggressive with the way I enter the corners to really get the best times for this thing. But we've done a lap already. You know, it didn't feel like it took that long, that's for sure. So let's wreck it up a little bit. Got some pieces flying off. And we'll go ahead and speed up a little bit more, see if we can wreck it a little bit more. There goes a wheel, so not going to be able to drive after that. Oh, it's the left wheel. I thought it was going to be the right wheel that fell off, but it was actually the left wheel. Huh. All right, well, this thing's going to come to a stop. So let's go ahead and swap out the maps for Brutal Slope. And for this car, I expect almost nothing to be left after the impact for a multitude of reasons. Number one, it's not that big of a car. It's a two-seater vehicle. And then a lot of the mass is in the rear. And I feel like when you have a car that has more mass in the front, the rear doesn't crumple so much. But because the engine is behind the driver, a lot of it's in the rear. So I just feel like this thing is going to go splat. Also, it's an old vehicle. Older vehicles are less likely to hold up in an impact compared to a new one. Although no vehicle holds up to an impact of over 200 miles per hour in the first place. So the engine is actually blown up. That was like the first time the engine actually made a noise. And then 250-ish miles per hour on the impact. Full slow-mo engage. And then crush. Yep, just gone. It just vanishes before your eyes. The engine's still there, though. You can see the engine very clearly. Go ahead and get a look at the behind and speed things up a little bit. We got some fire coming into the mix. Gotta have some fire every now and then. All right. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Somehow the steering wheel is right next to the engine. It's still kind of a mid-engine car in a way, I guess. And then to finish things off, we are going to head over to Leap of Death if I can find it. The problem is I got so many maps, it's hard to find maps that I want sometimes. And I expect this thing to go pretty far on Leap of Death. Like that all-wheel drive is going to grip down in the dirt great. It's probably going to hit that ramp at like 80 miles per hour maybe. Let's see. A little bit over 80 maybe even. It was right on 80 or just maybe like 81, 82. That was a really good jump. And I expect this thing to make only 1, 2, 3 impacts at most, I would say, to get to the bottom from this kind of jump. Let's see. Here's number 1. We'll get the slow-mo going. That's actually a pretty easy impact to survive. It just kind of slid along the roof right there. And is it going to keep sliding right here? We'll speed it up a little bit to see. Yeah, it's going to keep sliding. That is a very, very easy impact on the vehicle for a Leap of Death. And it's actually going to make its way all the way to water and maybe just one hit. No way, one hit. Clear it, clear it. Oh my goodness, it just barely cleared it. It didn't even like touch a bumper. That was the one hitter. That is rare. And oh, it could actually drive still. The engine got flooded, but this thing could have still driven at the bottom of Leap of Death. That is an extreme rarity right there. Like, it's not just it could put down power with the engine. I think it could have actually kept driving. That's amazing. This time it's not going to keep driving though, because this one I went off at an angle to make sure it gets wrecked up, because I know a lot of you guys see Leap of Death to see the car get wrecked up, not to see it survive. This one we're not going to bother the slow-mo. There you go. That one, it did not glide gracefully. No. It was the exact opposite. It had a nice little slide at the start, and then it had the bashing. And we have another bashing. And I like the way it's kind of twirling along right here. It's like a ballerina a little bit. Like really like a ballerina right there. Look at that. Doors open to extend itself. And now it's at the water. And that'll do it for this video. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.